We are finally ready, and we are hopping into the game right here, right now. We got all of the players on their picks. You've got Stingray over on that crossroom, and then Java on the gold bar, Santy on the Koji, Snowy on the Rayman, and oh man, feels like Rayman might be the new trend in 2v2. We're seeing obviously Snow is very well known for it, but Godly was also rocking that Rayman. It seems to be a little bit more of a popular pick.
It's interesting too. I feel like I would have to see it a little bit more within practice just to like really understand as to why people decide to pick this up within the meta that we have right now. But I mean, you know, Window Axe is good, right? So I think that's realistically anybody could pick it up, but I would imagine you want to go for a Karos instead. But hey, that's just me personally. But the Rayman picks up the first stack.
They are in a little bit of a lead now, trying to take down Stingray now as fast as possible. There it is, a beautiful downlight recovery. Snowy and Santy have got themselves quite a good lead so far. Nothing crazy, and they're not really exploding either. They're just looking solid, they're playing clean, they're doing what they need to do, and they are doing everything very thoughtfully so far.
Yes, sir. Slow, controlled, and clean gameplay. Something that we did see a little bit ago within our second match near the end, right? It was very patient stuff, and considering how even these teams are, is exactly what we experienced. So for now, though, they continue just trading hits, as the health bars do maintain to be relatively even, but Stingray taking a little bit more than most.
Stingray and Java doing a good job of bringing it back, even though they were in that stock disadvantage. They were able to pick those off relatively fast, but they are so very low, and that's going to be Stingray going down. Java now the only one on the red team with their second stock still left. They will be surviving off of that. Snowy and Santy would rather just kind of chill on the stage, right? You're already kind of in the lead. You have no necessity to be going for something huge. You can just let him come back, because you know, they're going to be able to KO off the top either way, which is exactly what they're going to do. And they're also going to be going for a huge 2v2 combo. There it is, the recovery could almost have KO'd Stingray all the way down on red in their last stock. They were able to take down Snow and Santy very quickly, but this could be detrimental to their first game, because it looks they're hungry for this KO.
Yes.
He's
gone almost your quality. He's literally just one big hit, and he's completely taken off the screen. You can see him trying to play spacing as much as possible, like going off stage a lot more, sticking near the edge. As soon as he even senses aggression, he's gone and done zone. There we go. That's one. That's Java. They left him alone for far too long. He could not recover the second weapon throw. Does not land on him, but ground and pound well. There we go. Controlled, clean gameplay from Snowy and Santy.
What an absolutely perfect ground pound. Like, they knew that they had to do absolutely nothing. No unnecessary movement. I feel like that's a really good way to describe Snow and Santy. They're doing nothing extraordinary. They're doing nothing other than exactly what they need to do to be getting these wins out. And what Stingray and Java might need to do is reconsider their picks. And it looks like Stingray is actually swapping off that pick and is now trying to look for the Brim instead.
I mean, interesting kind of switch up. I did not expect them to switch so early either. You know, I was thinking just to wrestle the combo, or I would say the tag team duo of Xavier Woods and John Cena was working pretty well. But considering, I guess the WWE has kind of fallen off, so we are picking it back up and picking much more, I would say, movement-based yet. You know, we know on the Bryn, they're very fast. So I'm expecting to see a lot more zoom from Stingray.
Absolutely, that axe will be doing them well, as you now got also heavy weapons on both of your picks for Stingray and Java. Let's see what they're going to be able to do with it as we're jumping into the second game. Java and Stingray has got to win this to be able to bring it back into the even situation. If not, we're going to have ourselves a match point, and Java with the huge offstage play already. Santy committing very far up with Stingray, but oh man, Java was able to find a very early KO there. That lead is very important for them.
And just the fact that this is the swing that they start off with so early on, and Santy as well is super low. There they go, a big stock lead without even giving away too much health on their end either. This is really well played by Java, starting to bring things back in the second round.
That's going to be Stingray going down. Java ready to go for that revenge hit. Trying to show Snowy that they can't be touching his friend without taking a couple of hits as well. Unable to find that KO though, as Java is still on the third stock. Axe there to the base, it won't be enough. Has to follow up with the ground pound, and there it is. A beautifully placed ground pound. That's going to be them down, and the damage is adding up on Stingray Ravish.
This is disgusting, the way they're just bouncing them between them like a rag doll. As Stinger, we know that right now things were looking good at the beginning. They're making them fancy plays, but now down to just one stock. The return from Snowy and Santy. Want to make this a 2-0 possibly, but it has to be up to Snowy right now to play a little bit safer and go off stage, and they even get the recovery back. R looking a little bit, I was gonna say precarious, and he had launched off.
Stingray though, on their last stop, all the way down in orange. Making sure that Stingray survives for as long as possible will be key to their success here in the second game. Making sure that that Java doesn't get stuck in that 2v1 situation. Finally managed to take down Santy, and that is finally all of the players down on their last stock except for Java. Java is able to cling on to those stocks very... Okay, Ravish, like you, I give up. As soon as you're about to mention it, they just go down.
It's not worth it, man. I told you. Why didn't I stop doing it? Like, it becomes this, like, thing. You know when you become that Thanos meme when you snap and you say, I am inevitable? We truly are here, father. It's within the things that we're able to say and enact upon the world in front of us. Now, I'm looking at Stingray to live. If Stingray live, we're cool. And there we go. He managed to do so. Snowy's now down, Santy's left, but if they get Stingray, it's starting to 1v1 in a very even state. They're getting bounced around. The spot dodge, go up in the air, get the weapon, nice, yeah. But they couldn't finish them off.
It's going to be so difficult. You're gonna have so many things to have to keep in mind. You have 2 threats on your screen except for one. It's going to be difficult to be able to recover from. Throwing away one of the enemies to be able to focus on the other. That's exactly what Santy is trying to do here, and it's been incredibly successful. These target switches have been oh so clean coming out from Santy.
Wow.
Clean enough for it to finally lead to a KO off of Stingray, and we're done to this 1v1 situation where it's very even, and both of these weapons have absolutely wonderful KO confirm options.
Ooh.
And there it is, the ground pound, the quick ground pound from Java will be enough. With 4 KOs, that's going to be a 1-1 in the set, Rabbit.
I really was thinking that Santy had it, considering how even they were in health. The fact that, like you were saying, they kept bouncing between the 2 opponents. It was just a little up air off the next and one to the other, but they just couldn't get in control on the stage to finally launch off. To finally launch off Java. Did a really good job just trying to go for a lot bigger hits and not trying to play things fancy. Good slow play. And I would this day make things 1-1.
An amazing showing from Santy for sure, but it's not going to be making the cut to grab that win and put it to a 2. Also, we will be running into the next game here, game 3, and just like always, we got ourselves a little bit more of a slow start. All of these players just really hungry, trying to feel themselves out, see what kind of stuff still works, what kind of stuff doesn't, and Jesus Christ, Santy is so clean on these target switches. That's like one of the most respectable things in 2v2, when someone is able to truly master keeping track of all of the other players at the same time. Like, do you see that?
Yeah, I just saw that. That was so clean. You would think they're actually using a bow IRL with the fact that how easy they're able to switch these targets.
Oh my god!
That was
Snowy
genuinely
just went down to
unfortunate.
that.
Yeah, that should not have happened. The fact that he went down so early, and even Santy now looks to be in a little bit of trouble, might be exactly where we see the switch up from Java and Stingray.
We just gotta play a little bit more safe, not to be able to pick him down. There it is, there's Stingray. It's up to Java now on the red team, the only player with 3 stocks to try and cling on to this. Take down Santy as fast as possible, get yourself that lead. Tries to go for the side sync to do it, but Santy with a quick bow Sair, not going to be able to find it. Java's just kind of chasing Santy around the place.
It's just been so consistent between them. And Santy's still though. Down 2 stocks, there we go. They do finally manage to find Java. As an even across the board. But in that meantime, they actually weren't able to hit Stingray at all, which I find is prime opportunity to try to capitalize on the 2v1 that you have within a couple seconds that are presented in front of you. But this is what I was looking for in between them. Big up here though, but won't get a ton out of it. As we see Santy just get launched off the screen. They managed to get back. They're now just taking up both sides of the stage.
Stingray currently struggling a little bit to be able to find these openings. They're really missing a lot of their sidelines so far, maybe feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Java playing super well still, but it's gonna be up to Stingray to be able to find their comfort, because they already have this incredibly strong lead. Wouldn't want all of that to go to waste. Looks like they are doing better and better for every second that passes.
Between the two. We mentioned previously how the game seemed to be in a lot more control between them. And as you see as of right now, things seem to be going in the exact same direction. Just trading by the end of it is what's going on between them.
Java playing so cleanly right now, still just clinging onto that second stock, trying to keep it for as long as possible. Got the hammer now in hand too. Could be able to find the KOs left and right as both of these players are down in orange. If you're able to get a stomp there and then follow that up off stage as well, that's going to be them down. Santy though, with the sword side, they're gonna make sure that doesn't happen straight away. But Stingray is all the way down in red. If they go down, that's gonna be up to the 1v2 situation for Java.
And we see Stingray in the exact same position before, but the issue there was that we saw Snowy actually go down much before this, leaving Santy in a really awful position. And
I'm getting
like
deja
I
vu.
said, exact same position we were in last game.
I'm getting deja vu. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Santy was able to perform extremely well in the last 1v2. It's all going to come down to if they're going to be able to do that thing again. Unarmed hit to Stingray. D-Line recovery to the base. A single more recovery is going to be all it takes. And Java and Stingray are able to get it around. Java with the 4 KOs and Stingray with that huge damage to back it up on that bridge.
And you see Snowy as well, with him going down so early in his fights, he's realistically just like leaving Santy in such an awful position that, like, where it's happened twice, not two. Like, although he just got a lot of hits early on there, you can see him trying to garner an early lead. He does get unfortunately isolated in those 2v1s, and then leaving Santy at the side to try to poke down or garner some aggro towards him. But this is what happened twice now. We need to see Snowy play a little bit more careful as we load in to see if we possibly find a legend switch, and we will indeed.
Okay. So right now on the stream they can't see it, but we are indeed seeing Snowy on that 8 strength amethyst so far. That is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I've seen. Sure if I've seen too much of the cannon in the 2v2 side of things for Snowy specifically. The cannon, wonderful weapon. They're going to be able to rack up a lot of things very quickly, fitting their playstyle too, as they like to move very quickly. One player that hasn't been moving very quickly though, and it's one thing that I kind of want to talk about that we're seeing on our screen right now. Stingray with almost 100 damage more than Java. I feel like one of the strengths of Java and Stingray is that they, in a way, have kind of defined roles in their team. You got Stingray as kind of the support player, right? Just trying to play a lot of neutral on the stage, just adding up damage slowly on that axe and your spear, and then you got Java to be able to finish those stocks off. They have been putting up an amazing fight so far. We're gonna have to see if it's gonna hold up all the way. This legend switch, as I said, is gonna stir around the soup a little bit.
This might be what they possibly need to go for some bigger hits and easier confirm, especially with the axe. And but you are correct in saying that, yeah, the cannon is super uncommon and fine. I'm personally a big fan of it, especially with the 1v1s, because I do like being my thatch. But with the episodes we're seeing right now, I think they'll most likely just stick to the axe.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it looks like that so far, and they're performing incredibly well on it as well. The only player on orange, as all of the other ones all the way down in red. And oh no, a red player side-sigged another one. Stingray taking down Java with that spear side-sig. Unfortunate mistake. They're gonna have to try and recover from that. Stingray still trying to play this very safely, but that E-sig is gonna get them stuck in the side-sig.
And that is not how you want to start it off at all when you're looking to possibly move on to losers. Both these teams fighting for their lives, Java and Stingray. At match point, look for the win between the two. We'll see the lesson switch exactly what they need to possibly bring us to a game 5 between these two. This, if we do get it, I believe this will be the 3rd game 5 that we have in a row, probably.
Absolutely, and one of the things that I as a Bryn main can really respect is Stingray's Axe N6. They have been looking so clean, able to find, I think, by now 2 KOs with that. One other player that's looking very clean that I'm keeping my eyes on is Snow. They're kind of taking a beating at the moment, but they've been able to keep their stocks for a very long time. They're gonna try and recover here, avoiding that D-sig perfectly. Cannon there, not going to be KOing incredibly close, not going for that weapon, but instead for the unarmed Sare. Java and Stingray doing a very good job at evening out the stock. Snowy had an entire stock advantage, but if you look over, this is a completely even game we have for us, Ravish.
Both these teams pretty much just in one-hit territory instead to get launched off. And there we go, that's 1 to start it off. If they get Stingray before Snowy and Santy actually die, then this could be the comeback we're looking for between both these teams. But Stingray right now has a big responsibility, and that is simply just surviving. And look at that, even getting the stock in
oh
one
my
way.
God!
The double KO.
That's so clean. That's so clean. I mean, dude, it's super unfortunate that we don't get these side stream plays on the highlight reel, because that's definitely one of them that would have been on there. Stingray has been looking clean from the start of this game, and it looks like they're keeping that up until the end as well. Snowy and Santy are gonna have to kind of step it up just a little bit to be able to bring this all the way through. Stingray with the damage advantage still all the way up in white. They want this game 5. They want to be able to stay in the tournament, because as we mentioned, these guys are high PR. This would be kind of a, not really an upset, but just whoever goes down, it's going to be an unfortunate placing.
And we see actually Java's, I was looking at him to be able to survive for more often than not, and to see how he plays his spacing, but
oh God,
because he's playing so far away, yeah, Stingray's been taking such a brunt of the damage that now with him not being able to contribute, he's just gone. And I don't know if Java actually comes back and survives this. Maybe he can try to isolate the 1v1. He's in the red.
It's possible, but they're against Santy's sword right now. Snowy trying to play a little bit on the backside, just allowing Santy to pop off, hitting the enemy, trying to get those revenge hits in. But Snowy has been looking so clean on that sword now throughout this last stock. Java trying to stay as careful as they possibly can, trying to get themselves the weapon now. It is still possible. You're gonna, if you're able to find one of these KOs, 1v1 is gonna be so much easier. They just have to get that little bit first advantage to be able to get it to that point to begin with.
And there it is. Spacing, but simply the follow through is just not possible, especially with your bare handed like that. So you can't do a ton out of it as you go to game 5 for the 3rd set in a row. Snowy and Santy looking really good at the beginning, and we were looking at Snowy a lot more too. On the Gray Man just was not able to cut it, was getting launched off and killed off so early on. But the change up with the Legend was exactly what they needed on the Amethyst, doing a lot better. And I wonder if this will perhaps inspire a change up from Java. And
looks like not.
Oh, will not? No.
And one thing that's kind of interesting to note there is how Snowy did like almost 700 damage. Meanwhile, Santy did like 5 KO. So what we were kind of talking about with Stingray and Java, their roles seem like they're a little bit less defined now. They're both just kind of doing what they're best at, you know, keeping their own balanced playstyles, which was working out quite well. But Snowy and Santy were able to build up such an insane amount of synergy there at the end, with Snowy just trying to play support, allowing Santy to pop off, and they were able to find all of those 5 KOs off of that. They're hovering over their picks though. Snowy might want to go with something that's going to have a little bit of an easier time to get those KOs.
So I wonder if he actually switches back to the Gray Man though this time. Although it wasn't as you know, as flashy that we saw on the Amethyst 2, I think it should be going back to more comfort, right? Looking at what they play on more often than not. So we'll wait and see what to decide to pick. As for now, they're simply just observing and waiting before final match tonight. It's 2-2, and we're not looking at them to see if they can perhaps take this upset, quote unquote, right, or they'll get knocked out of the tournament.
Absolutely. Santy hovering over the Koji, looks like they will be sticking to the same place, but of course, like we mentioned, Snowy might be seeing a potential switch here. Just kind of looking at the stream, taking a couple of deep threats, making sure that you are 100% prepared. That's what I was saying. I think that could be a very important part of the competition in general. Making sure that you have the exact right state of mind is like the most important things in fighting games. But it looks like Snowy will be staying on that Amethyst, just dealing as much damage as possible, allowing Santy to pop off, get all of these KOs. Stingray and Java, wonder what they will be doing to try and take Snowy and Santy down.
Same picks though, alongside the exact same map pick as well.
3,
To
2,
change up, we'll see what might be possible as we load in to game 5, the set 3 of the day so far. Java and Stingray, a little bit on the back foot. Have found it's to find more spacing in match 2 and 3, but can Stowy and Santy truly finish things off?
They like this map a lot. They've been going on this map like time and time again. I know a lot of people that don't like this map, but in 2v2, I mean, it's fair. You got a lot of space to work with, but currently Santy is struggling to use all of that space as they just find themselves in front of the enemy's attacks again and again and again and again. Stingray as well now. Both these players all the way down on red this early on. Only 40 seconds in the game. We could be seeing the KOs trickling in, Ravish. And there it is, catching both of those players in that recovery. Not going to be KOing, but that's very important damage.
And just the fact they caught both of them too, like you're saying, is a really well played setup as well, as that's a double KO for Java. All right, was left low previously, deciding this time we do have to pick things back up.
That's an excellent start coming out from Java and Stingray. Gonna be trying to extend this lead now as far as possible. You've got very good weapons for it as well. You can play very safely, good neutral on that sword, just allowing Spear as well to just trying to get all of those pokes in and just basically trying to stay safe. Santy's finally managed to find that KO off of Stingray, while meanwhile Snowy goes off the left side. They didn't take too much of a hit. They are actually doing kind of fine so far, only in yellow.
Managing to stay safe. Key thing to be able to manage in this final game.
Oh my god.
As both players are just fighting for survival, like you're saying, but the hits is just so clean. And I find that since these players have played against each other for so long now, there has been a sense of adaptation, and as the game 5s go, things get a lot more slower as they only go for hits that they know will more than likely land.
Absolutely. Java trying to keep that distance, throw out their aerials, and just try and cover as much space as possible. Have a little bit of a chance to be able to get some of that damage in. All players now down at red. KOs could be coming in at any moment now. Stingray got the D-Light, but didn't go for the finisher. Snowy gonna be able to find a punish off of that, but Java has the sword in hand. Goes for the D-Light after the sideline. That's gonna give Snowy an opportunity to go for the punish as well. And Java gets stuck under. No, that's a head bop. They didn't go down for it, but Jesus, that was scary. That could have been terrible for them.
Well, the weapon throw as well doesn't really connect, but the fact they managed to make it out on stage and even get a KO on top of all that, maybe 1-1s across the board with just Stingray staying alive for a little bit longer. The stock lead to be exactly what they need to make sure that they maintain themselves in this final game as they get taken out now as well. But it just has to depend on whether or not Java gets bounced around. Either they go off stage a little bit and they stay safe for the most part too, so that's a really big win for them.
Game 5, all players on the last stocks. There's the D-Sig coming out from Java. That's going to be taking down the first one. And we are now in a 1v2 situation. The most important part for Santy is to not get stuck in that 2v2 combo. If that happens, that could be seal and deal, game over with, and a win for Java and Stingray. You can see it. You can see it in Java. They tried to turn around that inline. They're looking for it. That's the one thing, and there it is. They got the start. Oh no! Oh, they messed it up though. Stingray nailing Java. That's okay. So this is a golden opportunity for Santy. This might be like the last opportunity they get as well. Dealer recovery, not taking out Java. So close. And there it is. Quick conversion. Java and Stingray will be advancing in the losers bracket, and Santy and Snowy will be going down at such an early stage in the tournament.
Yeah, I feel like for so many of those matches, right, it just seems to be in the favor of Santy and Snowy, and even after the switch up, things look so good, but Snowy just died far too early. Like, he was consistently getting taken off, you know, or with it, I find right when you're about just at an even state, and then Java and Stingray naturally managed to take advantage of that and leave, and managed to bounce around Santy.